Oh my, it's hot. Hello guys, yes it's me, I've had a haircut, it's far too hot. That's that story. I just wanted to jump on and chat about something that I'd experienced recently and which was a really positive thing to do, and talk you through kind of the process of what happened. So I was actually lucky enough and able to go and shoot a wedding for a family friend. Now this was a wedding that involved travel, a lot of planning and stuff, and I wanted to kind of capture my experience of everything. So from planning before the event, shooting on the day itself, and kind of where I'm at now with kind of editing stuff post the event. And ultimately, I guess I wanted to give you kind of my top 3 tips for shooting a wedding. Now, I'm by no means whatsoever an expert in the field. This was my first wedding. I was very happy and excited to be doing it. It was something I wanted to do for a long time, and I was incredibly grateful to be able to capture the day for the beautiful couple. Now, if you're anything like me, you're an overthinker, you're an overpacker, and you're an overplanner. So for me, tip number 1 if you're going to go out and shoot a wedding would be to plan. Now I planned this shoot and this coverage of the wedding so meticulously, I probably took far too much equipment, but I go on the ethos of should I need it, at least I have it, rather than panicking about if I don't have something. So I was very conscious that the day itself, after looking at the planning for timings and locations, etc., would be really tight. And that ended up being the case. You know, we were shooting on different locations, different timings, trying to cover every single aspect of the day. And that was from getting prepared and ready at the Airbnb with the bridal party, to then going on location at the church, covering the entire ceremony, to then covering a shoot at the local beach, which then ultimately led into the reception, which was at a different location. So, you know, 4 different locations, 4 different timescales. And when you think about that, I guess you can probably get overwhelmed with kind of the essence of everything happening all at once. So as I say, meticulous detail went into planning every single location, every single bit of timing at each location, and then every single bit of equipment and the shot lists for each location too. And I did that kind of weeks in advance, and I was happy with where we were kind of a day before the shoot was going to happen and the wedding was going to take place. And obviously alongside the planning, I made sure every single battery was charged. I made sure I had a power bank. I made sure I had my battery charger bank. I made sure every lens I wanted was available. I made sure that the camera bag was ready. I made sure I had snacks for myself, drinks for myself, and I also made sure that the couple were happy with what was being planned to be covered for the day. So that kind of encapsulated the preparing phase, I suppose. So that would be, you know, a huge bit of work probably for most people, and it definitely was for me too. And ultimately, it's a massive part of the day running as smooth as possible. So yeah, tip 1, plan like a motherfucker, because you have to plan for every eventuality and every worst case scenario. You have to plan everything in such detail that when you wake up on that day to go and shoot, you know exactly what's happening and when. And that just gives you a sense of ease on the day that what you're covering is actually what's needed. Oh my goodness, it's so hot. I'm so sorry if I'm profusely sweating during this, but it is incredibly warm right now. So then that kind of leads me into my second tip, which would be communicate everything. So with any wedding, there's such a massive party of people, and that would be the bridal party, the groom's party, the best men, both sides of the family, the people kind of overseeing the ceremony side, the people looking after the reception side. Then you've got kind of yourself as the videographer. You've also got then the photographer on location with you, who's kind of running around doing their own thing. So I think over communicating everything that you require from that moment on that location, or you know, everything that you think you want to cover with the couple, is really key, just so that you know you arrive on location, you've got the shot list in your head, the couple understand what you want from them, and they've got kind of an understanding of the kind of thing they're in for. And it can be really difficult, you know, you've got a photographer and a videographer trying to cover the same stuff. Sometimes there's a bit of a clash, you walk in front of someone's shot, and it's all just basically about communicating overtly. It's understanding that you both might want the same thing, but it's just taking turns, or you want to spend an extra 2 minutes here because you haven't quite got this shot or that shot. So yeah, tip 2 would just be communicate everything possible and work really closely with people to ensure that you get everything that you want out of the day, because ultimately you want to kind of overshoot so you've got much more to choose from, and ultimately the couple are going to be happier with the edit. And then to kind of round things off would be tip 3, which I've kind of labeled don't afraid to be a nuisance, and I mean that in the most positive way. I'm kind of leaning into tip 2 almost, where there is so much going on, there are so many people involved, that you kind of just have to not be afraid to be in the way and be annoying. And there was many times on the day, kind of, you know, it's my first wedding I'm shooting, I felt like such an idiot walking in front of people or walking behind the couple as they were doing their vows. I felt so in the way of everything. But my main focus was just, I need this shot and I will do what I can to get it. And if that involves army crawling on the floor in front of the entire wedding ceremony, I'll do it. So yeah, it was just kind of, don't be afraid to do what you need to capture what you want. Sometimes you feel like an idiot doing it, you know, ultimately you've got a shot list, you want to capture it. And as I say, you want to kind of capture everything possible and more. I don't think I stopped moving the entire day. I must have been on my feet for about 9, 10, probably plus hours. Very, very tiring, like shooting a wedding. Of course it is, there's so much happening and you've kind of got to be on point and on location to capture it all. My back was shot, my legs were done at the end of it all, but I was pleased, I think, at the end of it all, that I'd done what I could to be where I needed to be, and just trying to be as positively annoying as I could be. And obviously I'm not suggesting you go and stand smack bang in the middle of the aisle as the couple are giving each other their vows. There's a limit to, you know, what you can and can't do. But yeah, I just ensured that the social anxiety I had of me being in the way of potentially someone's view or something wasn't going to stop me from capturing what I needed to. So as I say, that's kind of my 3 tips for you. Plan in absolute meticulous detail. Over communicate with everybody about what you want and what you need. And don't be afraid to kind of get in the way and be where you need to be to capture what you need to. And as for my personal experience of it all, again, very blessed and very full of gratitude to be able to cover the day. It is a career that I'm trying to chase, and so to be able to do it for the first time was massive for me. I felt a massive amount of pressure, riddled with anxiety, social insecurity, but I just really tried to narrow down to the vision of what it was I was trying to capture. I will say the next day I had such a migraine and a bad back, and I can only put that down to carrying a camera like this for most of the day, and yeah, using my eyes pretty much all day. So I felt awful the next day, but nothing a long sleep and some painkillers couldn't fix. I'm excited to share kind of the edits with you that I've got from the day. Hopefully you'll have a good reaction to it. I hope you guys are all good. Have a fantastic week, and I will catch you all on the next one.